Hillary Clinton email archive. Date: December 31st, 2000. Subject: New Iran and Syria. Unclassified. U.S. Department of State. Case number F 2014-20439. Date: November 30th, 2015. The best way to help Israel deal with Iran's growing nuclear capability is to help the people of Syria overthrow the regime of Bashar Assad. Negotiations to limit Iran's nuclear program will not solve Israel's security dilemma, nor will they stop Iran from improving the crucial part of any nuclear weapons program, the capability to enrich uranium. Iran's nuclear program and Syria's civil war may seem unconnected, but they are. For Israeli leaders, the real threat from a nuclear-armed Iran is not the prospect of an insane Iranian leader launching an unprovoked Iranian nuclear attack on Israel that would lead to the annihilation of both countries. What Israeli military leaders really worry about, but cannot talk about, is losing their nuclear monopoly. An Iranian nuclear weapons capability would not only end that nuclear monopoly, but could also prompt other adversaries like Saudi Arabia and Egypt to go nuclear as well. The result would be a precarious nuclear balance in which Israel could not respond to provocations with conventional military strikes on Syria and Lebanon, as it can today. If Iran were to reach the threshold of a nuclear weapon state, Tehran would find it much easier to call on its allies in Syria and Hezbollah to strike Israel, knowing that its nuclear weapons would serve as a deterrent to Israel responding against Iran itself. Bringing down Assad would not only be a massive boon to Israel's security, it would also ease Israel's understandable fear of losing its nuclear monopoly. Then Israel and the United States might be able to develop a common view of when the Iranian program is so dangerous that military action could be warranted. Success in Syria would be a transformative event for the Middle East. Not only would another ruthless dictator succumb to mass opposition on the streets, but the region would be changed for the better, as Iran would no longer have a foothold in the Middle East from which to threaten Israel and undermine stability in the region. Unlike in Libya, a successful intervention in Syria would require substantial diplomatic and military leadership from the United States. Washington should start by expressing its willingness to work with regional allies like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar to organize, train, and arm Syrian rebel forces. The announcement of such a decision would, by itself, likely cause substantial defections from the Syrian military. Then, using territory in Turkey and possibly Jordan, U.S. diplomats and Pentagon officials can start strengthening the opposition. It will take time, but the rebellion is going to go on for a long time, with or without U.S. involvement. Arming the Syrian rebels and using Western air power to ground Syrian helicopters and airplanes is a low-cost, high-payoff approach. Victory may not come quickly or easily, but it will come, and the payoff will be substantial. Iran would be strategically isolated, unable to exert its influence in the Middle East. The resulting regime in Syria will see the United States as a friend, not an enemy. Washington would gain substantial recognition as fighting for the people in the Arab world, not the corrupt regimes. For Israel, the rationale for a bolt from the blue attack on Iran's nuclear facilities would be eased, and a new Syrian regime might well be open to early action on the frozen peace talks with Israel. Hezbollah in Lebanon would be cut off from its Iranian sponsor, since Syria would no longer be a transit point for Iranian training, assistance, and missiles. All these strategic benefits and the prospect of saving thousands of civilians from murder at the hands of the Assad regime, 10,000 have already been killed in this first year of civil war. With the veil of fear lifted from the Syrian people, they seem determined to fight for their freedom. America can and should help them, and by doing so help Israel and help reduce the risk of a wider war.